Coach Kirpatrick with us. Coach, good to see you.
Hey, how you doing there?
Doing well. Hope things are going good.
Going great, going great.
Busy time?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Exciting times, though. You know, I take it. It's exciting.
Would you like this routine of going back to your playing days?
I mean, it's a little different. You know, when you're playing, you know, you get the butterflies, and you know, you have a little more control of the outcome of the game. As a coach, you know, it's a little scarier, only because, like you say, you depending on kids, you know, to execute and things of that nature. So it's a little different than playing.
Yeah, as a coach, you depend on a whole bunch of kids to do a certain thing. As a player, you just got your assignment for the most part. If you get your job done, the other guy doesn't do his part, it's his fault.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, if they don't do it as a player, as a coach, it's everybody's fault. And the bottom line comes right back to you.
Yeah, yep. Oh, yes, sir.
What about the excitement about Northwest Guilford? What's Northwest Guilford got rolling?
Coach, they pretty sound. You know, coach well. The kids gonna be very disciplined. They play hard. Coach and them are doing a great job. And I know that, you know, he got there, you know, a little late. So I know they still getting in through that transitional phase. But I know he gonna have them ready to play. And then, like you say, just off of last year, I know them kids are gonna be well disciplined, well coached, and they gonna be ready to play tomorrow night.
Think about Coach Woodruff when he was there. It was almost like that blocking pattern. It was like the lineman gets on your guy, holds him for about 2 or 3 seconds, turns him just a certain way, just quick enough for that bat to get through there and gone. I think this year they may be coming out a little bit different system.
Well, they are a little bit, but it's similar. It's similar. You know, they do a lot of things similar that Coach Woodruff did. You know, not the conventional wing tee sets, but, you know, they still do some wing tee principle type things, yes.
I guess when you come in as a new coach, you don't want to change everything the other coach did, because you do that sometimes, like, some people would, you know, all the fans, all the people study these teams, they say, that's disrespect. You say what he did wasn't correct. We didn't do things the right way before. You just threw everything out in the gutter and brought all this new stuff in. So you want to kind of gradually, I guess, make those adjustments. If not, things could be a little crazy on you.
Well, you know, as a head coach, in any situation, you got to do what you know. You know, and as good as Coach Woodruff was at what he did, you know, if coach is not comfortable with that, he got to make sure he implementing what he's able to coach. You know, everybody can't coach that wing tee, and every team can't run that wing tee. So you got to make sure that you comfortable and you put them kids in the best possible situation that you can. You know, you can't worry about the fans and what everybody going to think. You know, you got to make sure you doing what you feel is best for you and that team.
What did you do as far as changes when you first came to Smith? Because you had to make some changes anyway.
The biggest thing for us, we've been working on in my first 2 years is just discipline. We got to be better disciplined in everything that we do in every phase of the game. Like you say, everybody, when it comes down to X's and O's, pretty much everybody does the same thing. You know, you may call it differently here, may block one person, but for the most part, you know, most of the teams that are very successful are very, very disciplined. You know, them kids do what the coaches ask them to do. You know, if they supposed to be in this gap, they make sure they in that gap. And it's just little things that we got to continue to get better at, and I think we headed in the right direction, though.
Some of the stuff I've been reading past couple weeks, I guess, stuff you'd mentioned, and a lot of other guys on our website, we're doing the Talking to the Coaches segment. So many coaches are saying they learned a whole lot from Coach Stephen Davis over at Dudley, picked up a lot from him. He's been a major influence on a lot of the young coaches in our area.
Well, you know, with Coach, you know, and I think with some of the other guys, the difference between me and them is, you know, our relationship is more deeper than just football. Like you say, he was one of my coaches when I played at Page. He's been a mentor ever since I was about 14 years old. So like you say, our relationship is a little different than a lot of the other guys. But no, Coach has, man, and you know, not just with sports, but just with life and teaching us and the kids at Dudley, you know, just how to be a young man and make sure that, you know, you are doing the right thing all the time.
I guess one of the keys that helped at Dudley, too, was he stayed on those guys all the time. He didn't, any let-up period would say, some coaches will correct a guy, and even school leaders will correct a kid for a while, then the next time around they may say, what the heck, let him go on, and they'll look the other way. But if you send those kids all the time, it's going to soak in eventually, and they're going to, and the Dudley kids, I've read about some things they've said, they've had so much success. He got on our case, he drilled us, he worked us hard, but it paid off.
Oh, yeah, it does, and that's how Coach is. You know, he don't let up on them guys, and, you know, but at the end of the day, he wants to make sure that they're doing right, and you know, what happened last year, you know, is in the past, and then, like you say, our relationship is different. Like, you know, we still hang out, we talk almost daily, and you know, we just got a great relationship. Anytime I need to call him for any questions or any concern, I can, except for that 1 week out the year, you know, he don't take my phone calls. But
do you stay up later during some of those nights during that week of the year trying to figure out ways to try to beat them?
Nah, I don't.
You got the same system down all
we
the time.
do, and at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to, like you say, just us being disciplined and just knowing our assignments and doing what we can control and do what we do. Like I say, them guys are coached very well. And like you say, being over there for so long, I know how things run, and they do a phenomenal job.
But there is a thing about going up against your old mentor. You do want to look good in front of them. Even the way you walk on the field, the way you do everything that week, I know.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it is. You know, it's a little different, like you say, than every other week. You know, and like you say, you know, you know, everybody wants to. You know, when you get into coaching, you always want to be a head coach, and like you say, you know, everybody doesn't get the opportunity to play against their mentors and things like that. So, you know, of course, you know, you want to go and do well and you know, and win, you know, of course. But like you said, at the same time, you know, you want to make sure that, you know, you making him proud, and that, you know, everything that you doing, like you say, from, you know, your dress, your appearance, the way you carry yourself, that, you know, you still are carrying everything that he instilled in you, and to get you to this point to where you at now.
Coach Kirpatrick with us from the Smith Golden Eagles. They got Northwest tomorrow night, and it's at Northwest?
It's at Northwest, yes, sir.
Gotcha. Here's the news and record poll. I don't see Smith in there anymore. What's it going to take to get Smith in that poll?
Oh, I mean, we're going to have to come out and win a few games early on, and I think we can. You know, I think each of these schools are deserving of where they at. Like you say, you know, we got to earn it, and I believe that, and I think we will. You know, I really believe at the end of the day, you know, we will be in this top 10. I really believe that.
What about our two guys you brought with you tonight? We had those kids in here last year. I was very impressed. They have got to be two of the better, more highly touted linemen in the area, Cameron Clark and Desmond Sturdivant. A lot of people interested in those young men, what they can do for them, even as you look further down the road, not only at Smith, what they're doing now, what they have a chance to in college. Talk about those two young men you bring in, how important they are to the Smith team. I think one, Cameron Clark primarily offense, and Desmond Sturdivant primarily defense.
Oh, yes, sir. And like you said, Cameron Clark, he's our leader on offense. Right now, he's committed to UNC Charlotte. So, you know, he's probably our best offensive guy. He's our leader on offense. And he just does a phenomenal job of directing everybody and making sure that we get lined up, and, you know, everybody understands their blocking, and everybody knows where to go. Like you said, he's like the coach on the field when it comes to the offensive line. And, you know, we have some young guys with him, and I mean, he directs them, and he knows everybody's position. He knows where everybody's supposed to go, what everybody's supposed to do. So for us, it makes it easy, you know, while we on the sideline, and know that we have a young man like that on the field for it. And talking about Desmond Sturdivant, he's probably my best football player, just pure football player. Like you say, he starts at both offensive line and defensive line. You know, he'll play probably 90% of the game. He may come out here and there just to get a blow, but, you know, without him, you know, I don't think any of our success or where we can be wouldn't happen without him. You know, anything you ask of him, you know, he's more than willing to do. Like I say, he leads by example. He's not one of them kids that got to say a whole lot, you know, but he go out there and produce it on the field for us.
You think about, we talked to the Grimsley kids about this. It's good they've got a kid like a DJ Reader down at Clemson, somebody they can kind of look up to and say, boy, I'd kind of like to end up in that same position. You just see DJ like on a Saturday night, that SEC's like on ABC TV, and I'm watching that, and I'm going, man, there's that number 48 played for Grimsley out there on the field, getting involved. Even if he doesn't make the tackles, you just get your number on TV. They call your name out a couple of times. He going to play good. It's a good thing. But just be a part of it. It's big. And you guys have kind of a similar thing with Eric Ebron. I mean, that's the kind of guy your kids can look up to. We feel like they should, and say, gosh, we'd love to be in that position one day.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, for us, and you know, with the, like you say, the Dudleys, the Northerns, and, you know, a lot of these schools, you know, put a lot more kids in the school at the moment. But like you say, we have somebody that these kids could really say, okay, you know, I got a chance. If I just, you know, first of all, they got to do their part academically. You know, a lot of kids get caught up in just football or whatever sport it is, and sometimes they forget about the academics of it all. You know, but like you say, that was a young man, Eric Ebron, who did it, you know, not just athletically, but he also did it academically, and he put himself to give himself a better opportunity, you know, to be there. So that's what, you know, we just try to let them kids know that, you know, his athletic ability is what got him looked at, but his academic ability is what got him where he at.
You know, a lot of the guys guys come back to the schools. I used to see like P.J. Harrison coming back over to Smith along with Ebron, and P.J. would always come back around Dudley. Have you seen Ebron come over towards Smith some since you guys have been there?
I haven't. I know some of my coaches, they done try to touch bases with them through Facebook and things like that. But like you said, I know this time of the year is busy for them. I would love for them to come back and possibly speak to the team and just let them know, that if this is what they want to do, they put their mind to it. Anything is possible.
You got David Amerson out of Dudley with the Redskins. For some reason, I don't think David gets quite as much publicity as some of the guys. Maybe because he's a defensive back, not an offensive player. But he did pretty well for himself. Keenan Allen did extremely well, like you mentioned, out of Northern. You alluded to him earlier. Outstanding job, I guess, with the San Diego Chargers. And you got a guy like Amerson with the Redskins, a defensive player. He had some big games last year, too. And you got a guy like Major Bryant. I read up some news about Major a while back. His girlfriend has sent me an email, and he is down there right now playing with Lewisburg College, trying to make it back, which is kind of wild. I thought that guy was as tough as anybody I ever saw play the game.
Oh, yeah, he is. And, and Major was, it was a tough situation for him through school, and he managed to, get out, and he had to do what he had to do to survive, and he's continuing to work, and for that kid, I'm proud of that kid, man. And he, like you say, he's not been in any trouble. You haven't heard of him out here doing anything dumb, and so, I'm just proud of that kid, and I don't wish nothing but the best for him.
Yeah, and he's still trying to get there, which says a lot, too. He hasn't given up the dream yet. He wants to get there one day.
He's still young. He's still young.
Well, how about we send in Cameron Clark? Before you go, though, what's the overall objective game plan when you go against Northwestern tomorrow night? You can't give away the secrets, because some of the secrets you start talking about, so we wouldn't understand it because it's so detailed and technical, we wouldn't be able to pick it up. What's the basic game plan, basic approach for the game against Northwest?
We just got to play hard and play discipline. We want to play hard, play fast, and play discipline. And, at the end of the day, when the clock strikes zero, like I told them kids, as long as y'all give it everything you got and leave everything on the field, I'll be proud of you guys, win or lose. Let's just make sure we giving everything that we got, and y'all do everything that coaches them ask you to do, and, we can live with the results at the end of the day.
I know you're looking forward to it, though, getting the real game going tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited. I really am. This group of kids, like you say, from, February, from the time we can start our conditioning and weight training, and, these kids have been busting their butt, and I know they probably more excited than I am to actually, like you say, get out there and, where it means something.
Who's your big man under center, under Cameron Clark? Who's taking those snaps?
We have a two-headed monster that we're going to use. We have both of them will be sophomores. A kid named Tyrell Dumpson and Miles White. So both of them guys will be back under center tomorrow night for us.
My buddy Dennis White, Dennis Hilton.
Yes,
he talked to you on the phone, did you?
Yes.
He helps you a lot. He's got a nephew, I think, over at Smith now, possibly. If anything out of his nephew, maybe playing JV ball. We got to do a little more research
I think he's
on
playing.
that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's playing JV for us. And with them guys tonight, I hope they just go out and, like I said, with the varsity, and just play hard tonight, and just do what the coaches ask them to do, and just make sure that they just stay disciplined and focused and concentrate, and I think they'll be okay. Like I said, we just excited about the whole program and all. Like I said, I think we on the up and up, and we headed in the right direction.
Got to get your man in here soon. One more question or two before you leave, because Coach Kirpatrick can break it down. If your JV team gets to running the ball and they get a lead, do you just keep on running that thing and try to run it on out to get a win, or do you start mixing it up a little bit to try to work on the entire game plan?
Well, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, game situation, time management, and things. Of course, you want your young kids to have that success of winning and know what that feels like. So, at the end of the day, for my coaches, like you say, it get down to that point. Our job is now to manage the game and make sure that, whatever we need to do, we do, to preserve the win. So, I let them guys coach it on Thursday, and, we roll with it, and whatever happened, like you say, we'll sit down on Sunday in our coaches meeting and, give our little spiel on what, either way, win or lose, what we can get better at.
I tell you what, the JV game between Grimsley and Ragsdale last night was a wild one. Wow.
Oh yeah, Cam and Dale just was telling me. I think it ended in a tie.
Yeah,
if I wasn't
26
mistaken.
tie.
Yeah, they
Ramsey
was just talking
They
about
just
it.
started that last drive, got it down the field, and very good way to kind of crank up some football. What about Downey Richmond?
Downey's go like you say, he'll start at middle linebacker for us, and he'll play a little bit of running back. So like you say, we're very young.
He's ready.
He's ready.
Good.
Yeah, he's ready. Oh yeah, like I said, we locked and loaded. We got we full strength, and like you said, we ready to roll. Whatever happened tomorrow happened.
When Ebron was there, you remember playing against Smith. They had some pretty tough kids. They were able to take those tough kids and kind of chisel those kids down a little bit and kind of get them in there. They had that 1 year real successful year. There have been some times those Smith kids are there. It's like you say, just kind of polishing up those diamonds in the rough.
Oh yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing is like you say, over there, going into it, I knew just mentally the challenge ahead. It wasn't necessarily football. It wasn't X's and O's. I think a lot of it is mentally, getting them guys to understand and believe that they can win. And, as coaches, that's our job to make sure and get these kids to understand. And I think we headed there. We ain't there yet, but I think we on our way to that point.
Well, I gotta let you roll. Let's get Cameron in.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you
Coach.
so much.
Good
Yes,
luck
sir.
against Northwest.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.